Hello everyone, welcome to the daily current affair analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy, 4th November 2025. Before getting into the discussion, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't, please do subscribe and also hit the bell icon to receive on-time updates from the Academy. Coming to the topics for the discussion, the first topic is about the typhoid. So in this topic, we will be discussing what is the importance of including typhoid conjugate vaccine under the universal immunization program. And the second article is regarding the GSAT-7R. So recently we launched the GSAT-7R using the Bahubali rocket. And the next article is regarding the nutritional poverty. So in this topic, we will be discussing what is the reason behind the nutrition poverty and what are the measures can be taken. And the next article is regarding the Tri-Service Exercise Trishul 2025. And finally, we will be discussing some of the important prelims related topics under the Prelims Focus. If all set, let's begin the discussion with the first article. Why India needs to include typhoid conjugate vaccine in its universal immunization program. The article is taken from The Hindu. So this article is talking about the importance of including typhoid conjugate vaccine in the India's universal immunization program. Why? Because India is one of the leading producers of advanced typhoid conjugate vaccine, and at the same time, India holds nearly half of the global typhoid burden. Every year, nearly 4.5 million cases are reporting in India, and around 9,000 people are losing life because of the typhoid. And you can see that the neighboring countries like Pakistan, Nepal and Bangladesh, they have already included the typhoid vaccine in their immunization program. So it's time for India too. And coming to the typhoid, so we know that it's a typhoid fever. It is a bacterial infection caused by Salmonella typhi, and it is a systemic infection that can affect the multiple organs inside the human body. And coming to the major transmission routes, so the major source of transmission are contaminated water, food, regions with the poor sanitation or hygiene, and the carriers shedding bacteria in stool and urine. So from there it will be reaching the nearby water body, and from there it will reach the food source. So that can affect especially the children. And the next is the who are at the high risk of getting infection. First is the first concern is about the children. So because we can see that the typhoid infection is mainly found in regions with the poor hygiene and contaminated water and food. So the children, they often go out, they play near the water bodies, there is a high risk for them. And the second is the people living in crowded area, especially the urban areas, and the regions with the poor water quality, and the travelers to the endemic regions. For example, certain regions are known for certain infections like typhoid. And when an outsider visits these endemic regions, the outsider may not have sufficient immunity to this infection. So he will get easily affected, and later this person will transmit this infection to other regions. And people consuming unsafe and raw food are at the high risk of getting infection. And what are the major symptoms of typhoid? First major symptom is the high fever, headache, weakness and fatigue, abdominal pain, loss of appetite, constipation or diarrhea. And it has certain severe symptoms. For example, intestinal perforation. So it's a severe condition where due to the bacteria there will be a hole. The hole will be formed in the human intestine. And the second major symptom is the internal bleeding, followed by delirium. Delirium is a state of confusion experienced by the people. And the next major concern is about the sepsis. So we know that our body has an immune system. So the immunity system will react to certain infection. Sometimes this reaction will become overreaction. The reaction will be stronger. So what happens in such cases, there is a possibility for multiple organ failure, and it is an emergency situation too. And why the typhoid is still a major problem in India? First major reason is the high burden of the disease. So you can see that according to the estimation of the WHO, every year nearly 9 to 12 million cases are reporting annually. And you can see that regions like India, Pakistan and Bangladesh are the hotspot of the typhoid infection, and among them, India alone is contributing to nearly half of the global typhoid burden. That is around 4.5 million cases every year, and that too with every year nearly 8,930 people are losing their life because of the typhoid infection. And the next major concern is about the children. So we can see that India has a huge population, especially the young population too. So therefore the children are at the high risk of getting the infection. The long infection caused by the typhoid can sometimes affect their health, and sometimes it can lead to complications such as intestinal perforation. And because of this health condition, they may lose their activity days, school days and all. And you can see that the next major concern is about the urban population. So here it includes the children also. So in the urban area with limited sanitation or poor hygiene, there the population are at the high risk of developing typhoid infection. And we know that India is rapidly urbanizing these days. And the next major reason why India need to include the typhoid vaccine in the universal immunization program, because of the microbial resistance, antimicrobial resistance. So we can see that since 1950s, this typhi, that is Salmonella typhi, which is causing the typhoid infection, is showing resistance. And in 2021-22, the researchers, they confirmed it. So therefore, it is a high time for us to include the typhoid vaccine under the universal immunization program. And coming to the typhoid conjugate vaccine, why we are stressing on this typhoid conjugate vaccine? Because it is strongly recommended by the WHO since 2018, and a single dose is enough to give a long lasting protection that can last for nearly 3 to 10 years. And it is safer for children, even if the children is, it is safer for even a 6-month-old baby. And it can be co-administered with the other vaccines like for polio and SARS-CoV-19 and all. And it is more effective and cost efficient than older typhoid vaccine. So these are the major reasons why we are stressing on the inclusion of typhoid conjugate vaccine under the universal immunization program. And coming to the mains practice question, the question is, despite being a preventable disease, typhoid continues to remain a major public health challenge in India. Discuss the factors responsible for its persistence and evaluate the need for integrating the typhoid conjugate vaccine into India's universal immunization program. So it's a 15 marks question and you have to write around 250 words. Write the answer and post it in the comment section. We will review and we will reply for your answer. Now it's time to move to the next article. ISRO scripts history as Bahubali rocket injects heaviest satellite in orbit. The article is taken from The Hindu. So we know that on 2nd November, the Indian Space Research Organization from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota successfully launched GSAT-7R, one of the heaviest communication satellites from India, with weight approximately 4,410 kg. And we used the GSLV Mark III or LMV-3 to lift the rocket, and we know that the GSLV Mark III is popularly known as Bahubali rocket. And the rocket successfully placed the mission in geosynchronous transfer orbit, and from there the satellite will be reaching its destination using the fuel on board. And coming to the satellite, that is GSAT-7R, so we know that it is replacing the old GSAT-7 series, which was launched in 2013, and the weight of the satellite is around 4,410 kg, and it covers the coming to the coverage, it covers the entire Indian mass and a wide region of the Indian Ocean. And the lifespan of the satellite is expected to be 15 years. And the type, it is a multi-band communication satellite which uses multiple frequency band for transmitting and receiving the signals. For example, the GSAT-7R is using frequency bands like KU, C and extended C. And we know that because of the use of the multiple bands, it can receive and transmit the signal across various platforms, and it can overcome different challenges like changes in the weather or the thickness of the vegetation or the difficulty of different terrains. These challenges will not be affecting the satellites using multiple band in transmitting or receiving the signal. And another major speciality of the satellite is that it is very difficult to jam, or it is very difficult to hack and all. Therefore, it offers high level security also. And coming to the LMV-3 or GSLV Mark III or the Bahubali rocket, so it is a 3-staged fuel rocket which uses solid, liquid and a cryogenic engine for the mission. And you can see that in the initial stage for lifting, for the initial thrust, it will be using the solid fuel. So we can see that the rocket has 2 boosters, and for each booster we are using approximately 200 ton solid propellant. And the next stage, for the controlled flight, we are using the liquid fuel, and for the final push to the orbit we are using the cryogenic cryogenic fuel, because we know that for the cryogenic fuel we are using liquid hydrogen or liquid oxygen with a temperature approximately minus 140 degrees Celsius to 200 degrees Celsius, and they are known for its efficiency. And you can see that all the engines are completely manufactured in India, which is emphasizing the India's steps in achieving towards achieving the self-reliance. And the next is the capacity of the GSLV Mark III. So we know that it is also known as Bahubali rocket because it is known for lifting heavy objects. And you can see that in the case of geosynchronous transfer orbit, it can lift up to 4000 kg. And for the low Earth orbit, it can lift up to 8000 kg. So that is why it is popularly known as Bahubali rocket. And we used this GSLV Mark III before in Chandrayaan-3 mission in 2023, and we are also planning to use a modified version of this GSLV Mark III, that is HRLP, that is human rated LMV3, for the Gaganyaan mission, which is planning to take the humans to the outer space. And coming to the significance of the this mission, so we know that we lifted one of the heaviest communication satellites from the Indian soil. But before that, before this mission, we were mostly depending on the France Ariane airspace for lifting the heavy satellites. But now we lifted the heavy satellite from the Indian soil itself. And the next is the mission is emphasizing on India's steps towards achieving the self-reliance, because you can see that most of the components, especially the LMV3 rocket, is completely manufactured in India, including its advanced C-25 cryogenic engine. Everything is completely manufactured in India. So it is showcasing our step towards achieving the mission of self-reliance. And the next is 100% success rate for the GSLV Mark III. So including the experiments, it completed nearly 8 launches, and all the 8 launches are successful. So we can see that in the coming days, India can gain a huge trust in the space diplomacy too. And coming to the prelims practice question. So in this topic, we discussed the basics about the GSAT-7R satellite and also the GSLV Mark III. And also we discussed the significance of the present success. So based on this, try to answer the prelims practice question. The question is with reference to the GSAT-7R satellite recently launched by ISRO. Consider the following statements. Statement 1, it is a multi-band communication satellite. Statement 2, it replaces the older GSAT-7 series. Statement 3, it was launched using the ISRO's Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. Which of the above statements is or are correct? Option A, 1 and 2 only. Option B, 2 and 3 only. Option C, 1 and 3 only. And option D, 1, 2 and 3. So from our discussion, we can see that we did not use the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. We used the GSLV. So therefore, the statement 3 is incorrect, while the statement 1 and 2 are correct. So the correct answer will be option A, 1 and 2 only. So with this, we will move to the next chart. Nutritional poverty when systems fail both the rich and the poor. The article is taken from the Hindu. So we know that poverty, it's an inability of a person or a community in ensuring the basic needs of the life, and food is one such basic need. But now we have food, but the question is, do we have adequate nutrition? Let us discuss. So in the society, there are 2 types of nutritional poverty. First is a poverty of accessibility, and the second is a poverty of awareness. So the poverty of accessibility is faced by the poor section, which cannot afford fruits, vegetables, pulses, protein, and foods which are rich in micronutrients. And the poor section is depending on the subsidized wheat and rice. The major components of this wheat and rice are nothing but starch and carbs, which is not enough to ensure the overall nutrition for a person. And on the other side, the people with money, they are facing the poverty of awareness. They don't know what to eat. They are depending on ultra processed food, sugary drinks, and calorie rich junk food. And coming to the certain evidence, so we can see that these evidences are showing that currently the nutritional poverty is existing in the society. So if you take the global hunger index, the rank of India is 102nd out of 123 countries. And if you take the data from the National Family Health Survey 5, you can see that 33% of the children in India are stunted, and 19% of them are wasted, and 12% of the population in India is undernourished, with 19% of women are anemic. And if you take the rate of the overnutrition or obesity, we can see that out of total population, 24% of women in India as well as 23% of men in India are facing the problem of overweight or obesity. And if you take the case of the child overweight, if you compare the data from the National Family Health Survey 4 and 5, we can see that the child overweight increased from 2.1% to 3.4%. And if you take the case of obesity in the higher middle class, you can see that 1 in 3 people are facing the problem of obesity from the higher middle class, and 4% people are facing the problem of diabetes or hypertension. And what are the major reasons behind it? The first major reason is the policy issues. So we have the National Food Security Act, which ensures that the food is not just a need but a right. But that is also giving more importance to rice and wheat. ignoring other source of nutrition like millets and diverse food. And we have umbrella programs like Poshan Abhiyan and ICDS, which is mainly focusing on children and women, ignoring the adult. So we need a program, a nutrition program which includes the people irrespective of age and section. And the next is the changes in the market and the lifestyle. So the for example, the rise of ultra processed food. So we can see that the ultra processed food, especially in the urban area, is one of the major reasons behind the lifestyle conditions like diabetes, hypertension and the cardiovascular problem. And eating out as seen as a symbol these days. You can see that it is seen as a status symbol these days. So going out in the night, especially we know that the eating habit after the midnight is one of the major reasons behind many health problems, including lack of sleep, hypertension, diabetes and all. And the second is the habit of online food delivery. So we can see that on the food delivery app, there is only limited option for healthy food. These days, this online delivery apps are including options, but people are not using it. And the second is and the third is the lack of nutrition education. So people don't know what is a balanced diet, how much protein they need, and what is the harmful impact of the packed food. So we know that coming to the balanced diet. So we know that everyone knows that the breakfast is important. We should not skip the breakfast. Everyone knows it. But the problem is we don't know what to eat in the breakfast. And the second is we know the importance about the protein, but we don't know how much protein a person needs. For example, we know that for every 1 kg we need 1 gram protein, but many of them are not taking it. And the third is the harmful impact of the packed food. Because of lot of other lifestyle stress, the people are depending on it. And the next major reason is the cultural factors, that is the taboo surrounding the food. So in certain communities, certain vegetables are not allowed. And you can see that in certain communities, non-vegetarian foods are not allowed. So this is limiting the accessibility to the nutrition. And the second is the patriarchal norms, especially on the dining table. So we can see that the households which are following the patriarchal norms, where the women are not allowed to sit and eat along with the other members of the family, especially with the male members. They can eat only after the other members in the family. And the third is the beauty standards in the society. So we have standard like men should be bulk while women should be thin. So you can see that to attain such beauty standard, the people are avoiding food which are rich in nutrition. This is also happening. And what will be the impact of it? So you can see that it has impact on health as well as on the economy. So we can see that now we are facing the problem of double burden. So once upon a time the problem was undernutrition or malnutrition, but the problem is now undernutrition and obesity. And you can see that 60% of death in India are related to diet, and lifestyle diseases are increasing in all income groups irrespective of their wealth. And the next major impact will be on the economy. So you can see that households with non-communicable disease, they may face high health expenditure. And diet-related non-communicable diseases projected to cost around rupees 382 lakh crore by 2030. And the treatment cost may push certain families into poverty. And what are the measures that we can take? First, to make nutrition a core part of the health system. That means we have to appoint the counselors at every primary health care and clinics. And the next is the including nutrition in the school curriculum. So the children can learn about the food diversity and the importance of each food. And the next is the local, they can learn about the local ingredients and their benefits. And they will get to know how to read the label in the food package. And the next is the training doctors and nurses in nutrition. So every doctor should guide patients on their diet. And the next step we can take is use of technologies. For example, apps for meal planning. Regular monitoring of the BMI in the school. So that steps we can take. And the next is a nutrition guidance in the local language. So we know that if you take the food packages, most of the instructions or the details of the food will be written in the English or in other major languages. This will not be understandable for the people in different sections. So we have to promote the use of local language in the nutrition guidance. And the next is promoting diverse crops. So not just relying on wheat and rice. Instead, we have to focus on millets, pulses, and green vegetables, and for that we need a better coordination between the agriculture, education and health ministries. So in this topic we discussed the nutritional poverty and how the nutrition poverty is existing in the society, and what are the evidences for that, and what are the steps that we can take, and what will be the impact of this nutrition poverty. Based on this, try to answer this mains practice question. The question is, India today faces a paradoxical form of nutrition poverty that affects both the rich, both the poor and the affluent. Discuss the systemic factors responsible for this crisis and suggest the comprehensive policy measures to address it. So it's a 15 marks question and you have to write around 250 words. Write the answer and post it in the comment section. We will review and we will reply for an answer. Now it's time to move to the next article. Tri-Service Trishul 2025 to begin on November 3rd, set to strengthen joint combat preparedness. The article is taken from The Hindu. So the Tri-Services Trishul 25 will be starting on 3rd November and it will be led by the Indian Navy, and the exercises will be conducted across the creek and the desert sectors of Rajasthan, Gujarat and the Northern Arabian Sea. And the exercises will be coordinated by the headquarters of Western Naval Command. And coming to the participants, the major participants are the Indian Army's Southern Command, Western Naval Command, and the next is the Southwestern Air Command. And the three services will be supported by the Indian Coast Guard, BSF and other central agencies for better coordination. And the next is aim of the exercise. First is validating the joint operational procedures. Second is enhancing the interoperability among the three services. And the third is strengthening the network of integration and the multi-domain synergy. And the next is the major operations under the Trishul 2025. Focus on maritime drills such as exercises like amphibian landing using the INS Jalashwa and the landcraft utility vessel. And other exercises like carrier and air sea coordinated operations with the Indian Air Force also will be conducted. And the major area of focus, first is joint surveillance and intelligence, focus on training for electronic and cyber warfare, developing strategies to tackle the emerging security challenges, and also this program, the exercise will be focusing on emphasizing the indigenous systems manufactured under the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And coming to the significance of the Trishul, it reinforces the jointness and the integration of India's armed forces, and it enhances the multi-domain operational readiness and the national security preparedness in India. So these are the major significance of the Operation Trishul. And coming to the prelims practice question. The question is with reference to Tri-Services Exercise Trishul 2025, consider the following statements. Statement 1, it is a joint military exercise led by Indian Navy involving the Army and Air Force. Statement 2, the exercise is conducted across the desert and coastal sectors of Gujarat, Rajasthan and extending into the Arabian Sea. Statement 3, one of its key focus is on cyber and electronic warfare operations. Which of the above statements is or are correct? Option A 1 and 2 only, option B 2 and 3 only, option C 1 and 3 only, and option D 1, 2 and 3. So from our discussion we can see that all the three statements are correct. It involves the Navy, Army and Air Force, all the three major services of the armed force. Therefore the first statement is correct, and the exercise will be focusing on the creek in the west and also the desert sectors of Rajasthan, Gujarat and the Arabian Sea. Therefore it is extending into the Arabian Sea also, and one of its key focus will be the cyber security and cyber and electronic warfare operations. Therefore all the three statements are correct. So the correct answer is option D 1, 2 and 3. With this we will move to the next article. So coming to the prelims focus, the first topic is 53rd Chief Justice of India. So we know that now the 52nd Chief Justice of India, Justice B.R. Gave, is retiring on 24th November, and now the Department of Justice working under the Ministry of Law has issued appointment to Justice Surya Kant as the next Chief Justice of India. So he is going to be the 53rd Chief Justice of India. And the next topic is the third edition of International Strategic Engagement Program, shortly known as INSTEP. So recently the Vice President of India addressed the delegates in the INSTEP. So what is INSTEP? This program will serve as a platform which brings together the senior national security officers from India and also from the friendly foreign countries to discuss strategic issues. And please note that 44 delegates, including 32 international participants from 24 global south countries, attended this program, and that is showcasing India's influence in the global south. And the next topic is the Asia Pacific Region Accident Investigation Group meeting. So recently it was hosted by the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, which is working under the Ministry of Civil Aviation. So through this meeting, we are aiming to promote the sharing of expertise, experience and information among the accident or incident investigation authorities to boost the accident or incident investigation capability in Asia and Pacific regions. And the next topic is the 7th edition of Indo-Pacific Regional Dialogue. So recently it was held in national capital by the Indian Navy in collaboration with the National Maritime Foundation, and the theme was promoting holistic maritime security and growth, regional capacity building and capability enhancement. So what is the objective? So bringing together the national leaders, policy makers, experts, diplomats from the Indo-Pacific region to discuss the challenges, especially in the maritime sector in the Indo-Pacific region. And the next topic is the 10 new Aeromedical evaluation centers are approved by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation to boost the overall capacity for conducting the Directorate General of Civil Aviation Class 1, 2 and 3 medical examinations to ensure early and timely access to the medical examination facilities for the pilots in India. And coming to the prelims practice question, the question is with reference to the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, consider the following statement. Statement 1, it functions as an attached office of the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Statement 2, it is responsible for regulating air transport services to from within India and for enforcing air safety and airworthiness standards. And statement 3, it also coordinates all regulatory functions within the International Civil Aviation Organization. So which of the above statements is or are correct? Option A 1 and 2 only, option B 2 and 3 only, option C 1 and 3 only, and option D 1, 2 and 3. So the correct answer is option D 1, 2 and 3. All the statements are correct. With this we are coming to the conclusion for today's current affair analysis. If you like the video, hit the like button, give your feedbacks as comments and share this content with your friends. Before leaving this channel, don't forget to subscribe and also hit the bell icon to receive on-time updates from the academy. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for listening to me. Have a nice day.